have both representatives from these teams join us. It is going to be Comps and T1 Diabetic.
All right, gentlemen, you've heard us throw our predictions out there. Rox really thinks this is going to be one-sided. T1, why isn't this going to be one-sided? Come on, give me something.
I mean, we know that we've been having like a couple rough patch right now, not playing the way we want. We just used our practices the last week or so just to try to work out all those problems and get ready for this one. We know the first match we weren't happy with. I mean, we got out to a good start on Proc, so we're just trying to hopefully get everything rounded out and do a lot better this time.
All right. The one other question I had for you, T1, before I forget about it.
Yep.
EXO in your starting lineup, no Nick back on the bench. Is that continued internet issues? Is that missing practices? What's with this change?
No, it's just we just started to play with EXO, and it's just like communication was a little bit better. But I mean, it's just what we were going with. We just didn't want to change something. Like, I mean, we've just been playing with EXO for the last couple matches, so it's like one of those things that
it's working.
We just keep on going with it.
So for the time being, he's won the starting spot, is basically what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for right now, yeah.
All right, Comps, you guys haven't made any changes this whole season. You've had some shaky matches, but overall are still undefeated. So you guys, it seems, are happy with your starting lineup where you sit right now?
Yep, I mean, no changes. We have Striker ready to play, I guess. But so far, nothing needs to change because everything's A-okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Because everything is always business as usual, Comps. I guess, like, is there anything that isn't business as usual? I just have to ask because I don't even know, man. You guys are always so perfect, it seems.
Nope. I mean, we practice the same amount, put the same amount of effort getting ready for this match. So, I mean, it should be business as usual.
All right, fair enough. Well, I just want to get this match underway, guys. So I'm going to let you guys both get back to your teams. T1, any final thoughts for Comps and Elevate?
Good luck, have fun.
All right, Comps, any final thoughts for T1 and eClipse?
Good luck and have fun.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Nice, short, and sweet. We'll see you guys on the battlefield.
All right. That's
about expected.
About expected.
Business from usual from both.
Yeah, I really wish we should just get him to bring us the update. Be like, Comps, what's new? Anything. And he's just gonna have like a list like, I sneezed the other day and I ruined a good shirt, like something like that. I don't know.
You ruin a lot of good shirts, Randall?
No, I'm just coming. I made that up on the fly. I didn't know where I was going and I sneezed, but I didn't know why sneezing was bad, so it had to be on the shirt.
All right, buddy. Yeah. All right. First match, Prokhorovka.
Yeah.
T1 talked about how they started off well on it last time.
Sorry, correction, Sand River.
Or Sand River.
Yeah,
first,
so Proc's second map. Sorry, he brought that one up because but go ahead.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, Sand River, okay, let's go to Sand River in that case.
Yeah.
Map that Elevate hasn't seemed, Elevate seemed reasonably comfortable. They dropped a few rounds on it recently, but overall it was, eClipse have really struggled on this map, if I recall. I'll have to check that. But
eClipse has not performed especially well on this map. I did check before. Elevate is expected to win here. They have the results behind them. And
yeah, eClipse actually have only a 42% win rate on Sand River over 7 games. So
it's not great. They haven't been doing all that great on
so that kind of doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence going into this. However, if they can make it, say, 1-1, which this map being as defensively sided as it is, if you can take that into Prokhorovka, who knows if this will bust wide open or not.
We shall see. As tanks are starting to get readied up, we're just about to get into battle number 1. This will kind of set the pace, or I don't know, man. It depends. If eClipse starts this off on a good foot, that's awesome for them. If they can pick up a win here in battle number 1, they're going to be on defense. That would be awesome to start this one off. Gives them at least that point on the board. If they lose here, they lose again. We go into Proc next. They'll have to pretty much start racking up a lot of wins from there on.
Now looking at the lineup, it's an i7, 2 5As, a 103B, 2 Batchats, and an M48 Patton coming out from Photo Finish. So the heavy tank player jumping into the medium. Now, to be fair, that's probably the most heavy-like medium we have, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Elevate, 3 5As, 3 Batchats, and a T100 LT. Nothing different for the team of Elevate. The same starting lineup that has started pretty much all season except for 1 or 2 games. Dodoma and external in those 5As, along with Ox Mathis, no surprise there. Batchats, Wallhex, Vetro, and Anime Lord Brett. In Canadian Impact, opting for that T100, he seems to be the main light tank player for this team, and he's going to start off with a South Scout run as the rest of eClipse go to the normal defensive spots. Nothing too crazy there.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how this develops then. A little just shots coming out here and there, trying to snipe out, get early damage. You know, nothing crazy, nothing outside of the norm. And we'll have to see where some openings happen. Looks like Positive and Dark God Zim are going to be in the north finally. Dark God Zim getting a little push there from his Batchat Positive buddy. And yeah, it's just very slow, standard kind of a defense.
And Dodoma is going to make that cross. Now, he might actually find a shot from Dark God Zim, who hasn't spotted him yet. He's trying to find a shot. Wallhacks actually puts one into his front plate, even though he's hold down, and now Dodoma is going to get across safely. And he's actually going to push around towards Germ. He's looking for the shot. And right now, they're just going to go back and forth opposite of each other. Now, Canadian Impact on that T100 scouting around south, and Elevate just holding firm. They have a pretty solid crossfire. They can really cover this 5A from pretty much every angle at this point. If you look at it, 5A sitting in base, the two 5As in the middle, and the 200 in the south. If anything tries to even touch this 5A or the Batchat of Wallhacks, all these guns can get solid shots. So they're not really at any risk to be where they are right now.
Yeah. So what comes next is the big question here. And shots going out from Dodo. Looks like going north towards Dark God Zim. He's ammo racked actually, and that's going to hurt.
I'm assuming he has a repair kit though in a heavy tank just to wait for it to come down off of cooldown. So it should just be a matter of another, 60 seconds and he'll have it back up.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
That's the nice thing about the change to all the consumables now is they all have a much faster, it's not just a one-time use. You don't have to take that gamble of taking multiple repair kits to avoid being permatracked, or if your ammo rack gets damaged early, you can just repair it right then and there. So a welcomed addition to the game indeed.
And there we go. Dark God Zim's getting out of his position.
Ox trying to find the shot.
Nice.
Lands an HE shot, it looks like, onto the side of Dark God Zim for 226.
Yep, Dark God's going to do his thing, just kind of back up, wiggle around and see what's what, and get on out of there. Okay.
And he has that repair kit, just waiting for it to come down off cooldown.
Yep. He's actually going to broadside himself out there. I don't know about that. Ooh, dangerous.
Critical hit on Dox Mathis. And opting to just drive away at this point, and photo finish. It's a track of Dodoma. Hits him at an awkward angle. Doesn't do any damage though.
And everyone on Elevate still at full health.
And they're pushing straight up and over towards that 2-cap. They're getting aggressive now. Germ is about to be isolated. He's going to be in a world of hurt. He's going to turn and drive. But look at the focus fire on to Germ, and now he's just sitting there trying to play the hold down as best he can. But Dodoma should come off a reload and get the kill. And actually, Wally in the Batchat.
Nicely played. All right. And with that, position's taken. Nice control, well executed, all at once. Nice violence of action.
They did get some good damage into Ox and Dodoma, so they're not completely out of it. But now Dark God Zim still taking more damage up in the north.
Yeah, he's playing a lot more aggressive than he probably needs to be.
Still hasn't repaired that ammo rack. Oh, you know what? That's not his ammo rack. That's his loader. That's why he hasn't done it. He doesn't have a first aid kit. So that's his loader. So that's ammo rack.
Ah. Always get those symbols mixed up here.
Yep.
Photo taking some damage, trying to go up against Vetro. A turret not servicing him well enough.
Not hold down enough in this position. They can still get shots on his front plate.
And they have the high ground. Nice advantage there. Drawcab in the I-7 also taking damage against Canadian Impact, it looks like.
Yeah. He's just being annoying enough to kind of keep Drock from moving where he wants to go without getting free damage. So well played by Canadian Impact. Even if he doesn't do damage, he's really making Drock really work for this right now and keeping him out of the fight long enough for the rest of his team to really move around.
Yeah, because they really need that IS-7 somewhere else right now. He's a really big heavy tank that, honestly, it's needed on the front lines.
That bounce off a photo finish.
Oh, Canadian's playing it perfectly. Nice, he's going to leave Drawcab behind. He's not able to assist as well as he could have, really cutting down his potential damage.
Goes,
and now Crossfire onto Wallhacks. This is nicely played. Positive in the high ground. Knows that Brett's in the backfield. Dodges one from Brett. Nicely
played. And this
played.
is really even on HP. Now there's 2 extra guns alive for Elevate, but the HP is really close.
Yes, it is. And I think you can really give the advantage, though, still to Elevate. They should be able to finish this one out, especially if they can connect their shells. But when Dodo misses a shot like that and gets caught out in the open, he's going to go down.
I've questioned Positive's Batchat play so far this season, but very, very solid and composed there. And now External is going to try to bully T1 Diabetic. Drock not really in a position to support. External's just going to push around. They're getting what shots off they can, but T1 Diabetic's taking a majority of the damage from the Batchats in the north. And External gets the kill shot.
Nicely played.
They lost Dodo earlier, so it's only a 4v6 right now, still in favor of Elevate.
Vetro's moving to the high ground. And
Canadian Impact's closing in on Drock. He's going to start trading. He actually sets him on fire with the first shot, and Drock's going to burn.
Oh, that really hurts. Although he does dip low enough hit points to get a nice quick reload. And he's able to put out a little extra damage before he will inevitably go down.
Canadian Impact picking it up, as Vetro does pick up Exo.
Vetro then moves on to Dark God Zim, trying to find a shell there, but of course the Batchet's poor gun depression is making that a problem, and one more shell, and he's got it. There he goes, picking up another kill. Only positive remains. Last eClipse tank alive for battle number 1. And a very one-sided start here for Elevate. Yes, a lot of tanks took damage, but gotta give it to Elevate. They spread that damage quite well, kept tanks alive, and did a better job at focusing. Really
good map coverage by Elevate. They really understood what Eclipse was going for. They kept their guns together. Very decisive pick onto Germ. Very understood, hey, this is the one spot where he can go where they really can't cover him. Now, they did get, I wouldn't say they couldn't cover him, but they really couldn't punish him that well. Only got a few shots off of damage, and they got the free pick onto the 5A. And then after that, it just kind of snowballed out. They had control in the south. Hats off to Canadian Impact. He only did, how much damage this game? Canadian Impact, where are you, buddy? 1,800 damage, but he really stalled a lot of those tanks from getting into the fight. He kept Brett in that I-7 out of the fight or Drock for way longer than he should have.
Yeah.
And he played that perfectly. He didn't overcommit. He didn't try to take pokes when he knew tanks had that angle already lined up. It just made him worry about him the whole time. It was just great, fantastic play out of a light tank.
And, well, I think that one's going to set a nice tempo for this one, because it showed us that both teams are going to be playing more serious strats, ones that generally rely on just an opening position and then flex, or improv, as it were. And altogether, it didn't look like Elevate had to do all that much improvising this time. They just had to play a straightforward strategy,
and
keep working your angles.
That was defense for Eclipse, so now they have to attack try to get around, and that's going to be a bit harder. Now look at damage. Ox, 3K, 27 fantasy points, while Hacks, 2,500, 2 kills, 77 fantasy points, positive top damage dealer for Eclipse, 2K, 1 kill, 50 fantasy points. And then Canadian Impact, best way I can describe that round is he was every heavy tank driver's nightmare that game. Pretty much the easiest way I can put that one. Photo finish, 1,600, 40 fantasy points. T1 Diabetic doing what he can. Dodo, Brett, getting focused out fairly early on, doing their part, and then Brett, Germ, and Dark God Zim all going down.
Yep. And now we get ready to switch sides and see how that's going to happen. Well, good luck to Eclipse. They're going to need it. Elevate looks like they're ready to play today. They're not taking Eclipse for granted. And Eclipse is going to give them all they got with 3 5As and 4 Batchats against Elevate's 2 IS-7s, 2 5As, a Batchat, a Patton, and a T100 LT.
Out of Eclipse, this lineup says bully, is what this says to me. This is one direction very, very aggressively. Now, they may change it up. That's just what the lineup speaks to me, but they may try to go for some sort of split, send some 5As one direction, some the other, use the Batchats differently, but...
I know, I see where you're going with it, though.
It's going to be a 3-3-1 split is basically how it's going to work out. T1 straight up the middle, 5As following, and 3 Batchats in the north.
Wallhack spotting T1 Diabetic, gets a little intel before he decides to turn back. And with that, T1's going to get up to the mid-normal position. Patton. I like this. Vetro getting into position. Going to use the advantages here of that, which are view range. Looks almost finds a shell into T1 Diabetic. I cannot stress how close that was to connecting. The gun depression on a Patton is nice enough that it can actually dependably do these things. Nice shot. We've got positive, draw cap, Exo, all spotted moving up. And that's actually going to be a huge tell. Elevate's going to be able to pull Ox Mathis and Vetro back without risking them going down to an opening volley. And with that, the 5As show up just in time, and almost everyone from Elevate is going to get out safe and sound.
The problem is Dodoma is in that IS-7 hold down in the north, and that is a long path to crossing those Batchats, so they are going to take a lot of damage as they try to aggress through here. Now, they are trying to find some picks towards the heavy tanks in the south, but they're not going to find those angles. Now, the position they're in right now is enough to hold to maybe get some cap pressure going. It is enough to cover those angles and punish them if they try to poke the cap.
But Vetro's already done 1,700 damage.
Exactly. They're bleeding a lot for this right now. They're down 5,000 HP already, so this is not looking good for Eclipse.
No, it is not. Another Batchat's actually running around to go to the 1 cap, possibly. It's T1. Takes a shell on the way out, although Elevate knows he's leaving. So this is just great for them. They've got all the position, they've got all the intel. They reacted perfectly when they saw eClipse's first big push, and now, and Vetro's even in position for the main Batchat push out of eClipse. He gets a shell into to positive, and now he's going to put one into Exo. He even gets to back off into hull down. He's taking a lot of fire, though. Nice play from eClipse, good response, but not quite enough to take Vetro down. Dodoma, though, is finally taking quite a bit of damage up there in the north. You were worried about him, I know, a minute ago, but he's holding on.
And looking at it right now, all these tanks just taking so much damage.
And T1, Draw Cab, Exo are down. There's 3 alive, and this looks, it's going to be an ace. It looks like an ace, man.
I don't like to call games early, but this is over. I mean, this was over a while ago.
Elevate has just shown us what they do and how easy it looks when you make those right decisions. That's it. It's easy. It looks really easy when Elevate does it.
One tank pretty much just spoiled this whole strat for Eclipse. The Doma in that I-7 up north, he shuts down the whole north with Batchats. Well, they can't do anything against that. They can't push into it. They'll take too much damage, and they'll get supported from the south. And if they sit there, they're playing corner games with a hold down I-7. That sounds like a great idea. So it's just that one tank just being there is just
enough. But on top of that, you had Vetro running around in a Patton, being in the right place at the right time every time.
Well, it's just what Vetro does, though. That's expected out of Vetro on every map ever.
You're right, but it's one of those things that you have to just notice and you appreciate it. That's why Elevate's very good. It's not only that IS-7 in the north that you're talking about. It's also the Patton moving in to put damage on those tanks attacking him. It's also everybody who knows all the perfect angles and when to go for them, and no matter what Eclipse did, because every play from Eclipse was solid, right? Their 5A push was coordinated, their Batchat push was all on time. Like no one was really throwing anything away or making huge mistakes. Just Elevate knew it was coming already. They already knew it was going to happen, and they're just psychic like that.
Yep, and Vetro that game put up some massive amount of damage. Not mind-blowing, but 3,600 for Sand River is not bad at all, along with 3 kills and 108 fantasy points. So the over 50% of the league that put him on their roster is going to be quite happy with that return. Canadian Impact, another 74 fantasy points. Dodoma coming in there pretty strong, 2,600, 61 fantasy points. And then Ox doing another 1,700. And Photo Finish top damage dealer for Eclipse, 2,400, 50 fantasy points.
Are you surprised? I mean, today is, of course, Photo Finish, one of the best heavy tank players in the
He's been around for a long time and has always been a consistent damage dealer. Just main heavy tank player since the back of the 742 days.
Oh, yeah. That's solid stuff. Now we're going to move on to Proc. You wanted to talk about Proc at the beginning of the match.
Now we get a chance to talk about it.
Now we get to talk about it. So what did you want to say when it came to Proc, sir?
This is where these two teams can really collide. Now, Eclipse, though, they need to get some momentum going on this map, because if they don't, that's going to be a 4-0 going into the next map after this is going to be Himmelsdorf, which is, if it's even, if it's like 2-2, I think they can go toe-to-toe on Himmelsdorf. But going into it 4-0 after being defeated on a map that you picked, that's brutal.
So what you're saying is Eclipse must win. Or
Eclipse need at least one win right now, if not winning both, to really have a chance in this match overall.
And they'll be bringing 4 5As to do that, an Object 263, 2 Batchats, and Elevate, 2 I7s, 2 Sturves, some Batchats, and that 103B played by Vetro. What do you think, James?
2 103Bs. Also have Anime Lord Brett.
No, yeah, sorry, thank you. They showed up on different spots on the UI. That was weird. They usually show up grouped.
And it looks like we are going to see another struggle bus as all these tanks go over towards the one line.
Choo-choo train of death.
What I would have to guess is 263 out in front. Use that frontal armor. It's quick enough. Push it with some other tanks. Have everyone else cover.
Use the Batchats and Wolf Packet.
Yep.
The positions out of Elevate to counter this. Dodoma's going to be in an uncommon bush, which is actually a tree knocked down as cover. He's got optics, no camo net. And covering him are Anime Lord Brett, Vetro, External. Down the lane, on the other side of the map, you've got Ox Mathis and Canadian Impact. So 2 tanks unable to support, and a 3rd, Wallhacks, not quite able to support, spotting way out on the east side of the map.
They're playing very passive. The most forward tank on the whole entire map right now is over at D8 in the Batchat, and then the next one's C1 So they are giving up a lot of the map, and this choo-choo train of death is just going, and it's actually going to be the 5As out in front with the 263 trailing.
And Batchat's using extra horsepower to keep those 5As up to speed. Important to note, when you want to get heavy tanks faster somewhere, you
now
put
look
a few
at this.
Batchats
Now they
down.
have 2 Sturfs, so they have really high DPM, but 3 tanks for Elevate are out of this fight. This is an overmatch for eClipse if they can exploit it fast enough. And Dodoma's getting caught out in that bush, taking a lot of damage from all those tanks firing on the move. 263 getting a few shots, but now the return fire is coming in, and they need to get close enough to spot these STRVs, or they are going to get torn apart.
Yep. Although External is going to stay out ahead in the IS-7, try and hopefully hold things up. Normally, players will just kind of naturally find some cover. Positive, though, looks like he's just going to clown car it in. Just trying to make as much of a distraction of himself
He's
as he
going to
can.
spot both STRVs. That's what they need. This is a toll that they're willing to pay. He's just going to drive right at him. He's going to go down, but that's going to allow eClipse to get off the damage that they need.
They
And
get
they
the
are
kill.
going to close, and they are up right now by about 1,500 HP. They're going to push around. They're going to get the side shots onto External here, but they're going for Brett first, making sure to get that STRV out, take the high DPM out of the game.
And there goes down Brett, but in exchange, that's Germ. External, though, is still alive, and looks like Canadian Impact has decided to join the fight with a fully loaded Batchat. There he's able to take down Exo. External fights well against Dark God Zim, and Photo's going to try and chase him up. Nice bounce onto External, keeps him alive for another shell, and it doesn't look like anybody's put enough attention towards him quite yet. Photo, though, bounces a crucial shell. That would have been the kill, and there we go. Lots of damage wasted trying to take down that IS-7. That leaves Wallhacks and Oxmathis still alive as the 2 remaining tanks for Elevate against the 4 of eClipse. So ultimately successful on that push. Now it's cleanup time. And hit points wise, you got double, a little less than double.
Earlier I criticized Top Tier for not committing onto that I-7 and not just taking the toll and just going for it, trying to play those corner games. What eClipse just did there with Positive, some may see it as reckless, but that was doing what they needed to make sure had happened, which was get those STRVs lit. They made sure that they got spotted, and then they took them out. That was a toll that they said ahead of time. We are going to pay this. We know it, but we are going to go for it. They didn't hesitate. They pushed in, and that may have just won them the game right now.
Oxmathis getting pinched. Photo finish moves in, trying to get the kill. Oxmathis bounce.
Wallhack's trying to do what he can in the back, but bouncing too many shots. And now they know he's down there, so T1 Diabetic and that 263 is just going to drive straight at him. Dark God Zim's going to come over up behind, get the kill. And now it is all down to Wallhacks, who is spotted in front of all 4 guns for eClipse. And this should be a shooting gallery for them. His shots are going to start coming in. Another connection, and it looks like maybe Photo Finish will pick up the kill.
Might be T1. No, it is going to be Drawcav. And that's going to be it. eClipse puts 1 on the board. Great for them. Elevate went with a very conservative strat. I think you noted that. They traded a lot of risk, but
that's the definition of a high risk, high reward strat. That's banking on those 2 STRVs staying alive long enough and pumping out enough damage that they can live with only 4 tanks on that side of the map.
and you're hoping to get a lot more intel before your opponent decides to push. Because eClipse decided to go with a more aggressive strat, they actually did something that Elevate wasn't quite prepared for. They weren't prepared because they didn't end up winning, and that was a little more one-sided than you would expect from any match against them.
And like I said, eClipse took all 7 of their guns down there, and they said, hey, we're going to pay that toll right now. And they just pushed Positive in there, just straight in. Look, I'm going to die. But the thing is they said, you're going to die, but make sure you light both those STRVs so the rest of us can kill them. There's still 6 guns alive. And from that point on, it's just snowballed out.
Yeah, they knew exactly how to take the engagement. Most of the time when it comes to fighting on different parts of the map, you understand that generally there will be certain tanks in certain positions, and you need to deal with that. Often enough, those tank destroyers just using camo need to get spotted. Really basic stuff that these guys have just applied right there. And it's just a simple lesson to understand. You're helping your battle buddies out by just getting that spotting.
The common term for it, more or less, is called breaking turrets.
Yeah.
Very, very similar concept. It's a little bit different in that case, but it's basically the same principle. It's pushing in, getting around, making them turn their turrets, focus on someone else so the rest of the teammates can get in there and get their guns into the fight.
Yeah, get into the right positions and settle good hold downs, maybe even take a risk and go into the open for a second.
And now looking at the damage, Drock coming in here with 3,100 damage, 62 fantasy points. External in that IS-7, 87 fantasy points, 3K, 1 kill. T1 Diabetic in that 263, cleaning up the kills. 3 of them there, 72 fantasy points. And then Photo Finish, another 2,458. Ox, Brett, And Canadian Impact rounding it out for Elevate on the first page. Second page, nothing too surprising outside of seeing Petro down there, but he was in one of those stirrups that got focused out, and he still got 40 fantasy points and 1,300 damage.
Ouch,
which
Dodo.
Yeah, Dodo in the bat chat. Well, that's not surprising though. He was the passive scout that got caught out in the open early on, so you know, that's going to happen.
It hurts when you see a good player like that get just completely wiped out. That's another factor right there. Is he didn't get to help. He was just completely destroyed.
He just didn't give them enough warning just between being so far back, and I think he even had binos on, but just
no,
didn't
it was
spot him
just
right
optics.
on top.
It's just optics, and that angle he was viewing from, it's impossible to spot any further. So what it was is it's one of those hard spotting angles where you know once they pass the certain line they'll get spotted, but the risk you run is the out. There wasn't a very good escape route, and that's kind of the trouble there.
Yep. Now looking at it, eClipse going into battle number 4. 2 I-7s, a 5A, a Foch B, an STRV, and 2 bat chats. Elevate 3 I-7s, a Sturv, and 3 bat chats of their own. Once again, Brett, Impact, and Wallhex down there, and it's actually going to be Vetro jumping into the STRV. Tank very fitting for him.
Yep. Deals plenty of damage. He's good at positioning and reading the battlefield, so he knows where to be and when to do it. And that's him. So, opening moves. We've got bat chats, Canadians heading toward the mid. We've got Wally. I thought he would be further ahead. Wally heading towards a mid scout as well. Canadian does a nice conservative loop, not going too far out there. Wallhack's a little bit more aggressive on his loop. Spots photo finish, and that's it. He's going to back off.
Now look at how much more aggressive eClipse are being. Look at how much further the bat chat. He's 200 meters further down than Dodoma was last game.
Yes, he is. And in what is still considered, by the way, Dark God Zim's still in what's considered relatively conservative spotting position. Where he is actually, as opposed to, we're going to fly a little camera stuff right here. Dark God's in this bush. Normally you would go up on the hill.
You see that a lot in pub matches, especially.
Yeah, this is aggressive. You have to book it there at the beginning of the battle and avoid the mid-scout from wall hacks in order to get here safely. But once there, you can spot the parts of the middle of the map and even further down, but the escape is dangerous. Where Dark God Zim is...
He's already in the low ground where he can get out quickly and...
Once he spots things,
done shooting on him.
He just turns it around and books it that way.
Is he not already turned around? It's kind of hard to see in that bush.
Where's your... Yeah, that's the front.
Yep, that's the front of his tank.
Yeah,
so he's already turned around.
He's a good boy. Good job, Dark God Zim.
Positive doing the same thing, and we're going to see the Foch B. It looks like he's going to go up to either A8 or maybe all the way up to that A0 pocket. Foch B
doing his
vantage
thing.
point for that tank. Get that whole clip, the 6 shots out. It's a lot of damage in that tank.
Yep. And this one's going to slow down. Exo's in the mid. Hey, HE external for 23 hit points. Not bad. Fun little HE always deals damage. And he's going to load HE again. Go, Exo, go.
Chipping away what he can. Now, this is going to be a little bit difficult for Elevate just because of how spread these tanks are. Trying to find this overmatch is going to be difficult. Now, while there are overmatches present, the main thing that's going to make it difficult for Elevate to really exploit it is they're in good positions to have early warnings. So even if they're going to spot any push that Elevate's going to do early enough on, that they'll have time to rotate their guns around, which is a little bit different than what we saw out of Dare Rising earlier in that match versus Top Tier.
All right, so what's the next big move? You know what? James, let's take a listen in with Elevate. I want to see what they're talking about, what they're thinking, and what they're planning on doing.
I'm feeling that too, actually.
You want me to do what now?
We're gonna push these 2 7s in like we did towards the 3 line, and then we'll move.
Yeah, I can stay here maybe. I don't know.
So
Right.
we're gonna get in the thing, and we'll put.
Once we do that, you gotta be aware of this guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking leaving right away.
All right, so
crossing just right here.
don't
We're going
leave.
through the
hold
pole,
on,
right?
hold on,
Right,
hold on.
You'd have to help me if you push.
Yeah, just
Yes,
wait.
I know.
Exo's
Did you
gonna light me.
Oh, I just got lit.
I mean, if
too.
I see anything, I'm gonna hide.
He just lit me.
All right, so how do we do this? We do
I'm gonna
this
cross
this
over
way.
this way.
Do we put them down the 2 line or up into the 3 line?
The 3 line.
I think 3 line, just go through the bowl.
And force the TDs to basically.
If he does the same peek, I'm
press
shooting
up.
him. He didn't shoot last
I'm
time
gonna
because I
go
didn't want him
six-
to
I'm
see
gonna go
me.
6.
Get ready to do this, boys.
Remember, they have an
Dodo just
IS7.
come up.
IS7.
Yeah.
They probably have a Wheezy on the 2 line with the TDs behind. If we force the TDs to poke up on the 3 line, it'll be easier shots. We just need to live in the 3 line.
Okay, so we're gonna go through
Survive
the
as long
bowl.
as
We're gonna go
possible.
through the bowl and over the 3 line. Yeah, we did in practice. Okay.
Oh, I got
Just be
lit.
aware that you will get shot.
There's somebody pushed up close.
Okay, well we'll light him when we push in.
He's
Probably
low
Zen.
ground D1 or in
Probably
the
won't light him.
D2. Get ready to move in. They see me
Probably
rotating
save
out.
our
I'm
shot
getting
for this
shot
guy.
at.
We should probably save our shot for that guy. So. Probably the I-7 midstream.
I hit
Get ready to do
XO
it. Yeah,
again.
go,
I hit
go, go.
XO. I hit XO.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
XO's half health.
I'm gonna poke up
We'll
in
know
the
if
middle.
he's a D2 guy right now. He's not D2.
No, he's gotta be. Here, can we scoot over just a little bit so we can.
Go back.
I want to see if we light this guy. We're pushing in still.
They're looking 2 line.
Oh, it's the
well,
weak.
let's get
XO
there.
shot.
Oh, there's bat.
Shoot the back.
He's bats.
No.
There's Sturv back there too. Sturv's back here as well. He's up high.
Focus the back.
Perma-tracked high.
Focus the back.
Perma-tracked high. Fox shot 2.
Going.
Shot me.
Fox shot 3. Fox shot 4.
Where's this guy?
Boschby is in A6. He shot 5. Foch shot 5. He's up here.
We have to kill things.
I know.
I'm trying to shoot photo and from mid hillocks.
Say that again? Okay.
I'm shooting photo.
Guys
We
need to
gotta-
kill Dark God.
We gotta kill the Wheezy.
Dark
I'm
God's
one
a
shot, I'm
2-shot.
3. We can't let their other back come in.
I'm reloading.
We need to kill.
should A7.
I can't.
Foch.
Bat's
Bat
coming
is
in.
killing
Bat.
Fox. I'm loading for 20.
I'm gonna die to him.
He's
I'm
low.
gonna pull for a shot on EXO.
He should come from me instead. I'm
You
moving
got
in,
him,
moving in.
I bounced off.
I got him,
I
I
can't
got
kill him. You gotta kill him.
There.
One shot.
Boschby's shooting.
Boschby
Got
shot
him.
2.
Service shooting.
Wait for me to load. Where's
I'm
the
reloading.
Sturv?
I'm reloading.
Foch
Service
has
up
4.
here.
Foch has 4.
He just fired one more on me.
Service still there.
I'm gonna go this
2?
way.
Foch has
We
Like
gotta
Hammers
kill
too.
the 7 and Bat.
Brett's. Don't worry, we're fine.
I'm gonna go A6 if possible.
Yeah, do it.
Foch has
Let
2
Brett
shots.
work.
I'm gonna shoot the building down, okay? I'm gonna shoot the
Hold
building
on.
down.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the
Everybody's
Sturv.
moving.
Don't forget about the
Everybody's
Sturv.
moving.
Veteran needs
Everybody's
to farm.
moving.
Where's the
If you
Sturv
can
right
shoot
now?
him, I can-
The Sturv was last year. He was
Alright.
shooting.
Yeah, he's up here.
If this I-7 pokes
There.
over.
Oh
Sturv,
shit, the
Sturv.
Sturv.
Sturv shooting Dota.
He's gonna
You
kill
shoot him again.
He's gonna probably kill me, yeah.
He's on fire.
Oh, that's
my
nice.
God.
He's mad.
I'm gonna pull back and get safe here from the Foch.
That's the type of shit that's tilting.
shit, I
The
don't-
Foch is -1. He's -2.
Yeah, Brett has to
Brett
like.
has to.
You can probably light them.
I7.
No
Have
shot.
some. Low roll.
Dark God shot 2.
Zimma's one shot.
I bounced off him.
They have 2 1-shots.
Can you
I didn't
get
get
the
lit.
7?
Just don't die.
You can't, dude. I
Yeah,
have to
don't
reload
peek it.
again. I could get on the fucking.
They might push down the 2 line.
7's in the
Foch-
bushes.
Yeah, I'm backing
The
up. I'm
Foch
backing
is
up.
full health.
No, he's 1400.
Brett had to win that right there.
I low rolled the 7.
And I
I could have
bounced
killed
off.
him in
Hold on,
zone.
there's still a decent chance.
Wally could get on 2 cap for now. Oh, never mind.
Oh, there's the 7. He needs to die.
He can get YOLO'd there.
Can you hit him, Vetro?
Go the
That's out
blast
of range.
Vetro's
it.
watching the 1 line.
He's behind the broken down
Wally-
train that's on the
okay.
side.
There it is.
Dude, like,
Nice. Sturv.
They're gonna
they have
push.
3 1-shots. 3 1-shots.
I think
know.
Vetro has the Sturv here.
Just get into mid, Wally. Like, it's the only.
Back in the middle, turret this guy.
Fox?
Wally, you gotta get
Fox.
into.
Vetro, 2 side.
You just gotta go, Brett. You
Yeah,
gotta
go
kill
for
him.
gotta kill at 7.
Bat's there too. Bat's
Bat
gonna be
Bad
on the 2
shot
line.
mid as well.
You guys
Bad is
have
close
to
here.
kill this
That's
guy
Like
now.
this way.
Foch is clipping on.
Foch
My-
is
I have 1 shot. Brett
I'm
has
reloading.
to do it.
I'm
Like,
loading
I'm
as well
1
now.
shot this whole time.
Both shot 3s. Probably just gonna hold.
Ridiculous.
Play vision games right now.
What vision
reload.
games they have 2 line?
Okay,
Could get Brett on
come
cap.
back. I'm gonna load. And then move in.
It's 2 minutes. It's too late. You have.
All right.
All right. Looks like Elevate struggling right there to find the answer.
Eclipse playing pretty well in Prokhorovka. Said they needed 2 rounds. Looks like they're going to get it. And Brett doesn't know where Wax. Oh, that's his own teammate is rolling up on. Never mind. For some reason, I thought that was Dark God Zim still alive.
I'm the colorblind one, dude. Come on.
Now he's going to push over, but he doesn't know where Dark God Zim is this time. As Brett drives out into the open, Dark God Zim fires 1. It's going to end up going
on
down.
the move shot, and he's still. Brett's alive. There we go. Okay, this is back. Anime Lord Brett
This is
and
doable.
Wally
This is
have this.
2 bat shots.
Yeah, and all that has to happen is let's take a look. Where's Drawcab looking? Drawcab's looking.
But now they know where Wallhax is. Now he gives up, and Drock takes him down.
Nicely done.
They need to be careful with that one.
They know the general area that Brett's in. And this is a tricky situation because Brett has to go up and over some cover. in order to actually even approach. And by the way, remind you,
Elevate's attacking.
Exactly. So time's not on their side. Now he's not lit. He might be able to just peek on over, but the problem is this: he's up against a Foch, and a Foch of all tanks is probably one of the hardest to deal with because it also has an autoloader. And Brett doesn't realize that both of these guys are together.
He gets T1.
And a low roll will save him for now. He does not know where the
3
Foch is.
HP in the dream. We've seen it before, but not this time.
Nope.
That is going to be Drock taking down Brett to tie it up 2-2.
All right, so that means eClipse has a better place in this. This is going to end at least in Ghost Town now. So we're going to have to see how Himmelsdorf goes. If eClipse can do anything with Himmelsdorf, they've got a chance. But before I get into Himmelsdorf, let's talk a little bit more about this last battle. All right, so your assessment overall, James. It seemed like Elevate went for their attack, but ultimately they had a lot of trouble succeeding.
They paid a pretty high toll. It looks like they were ready to pay that toll, but Eclipse made a lot of their shots count. They had pretty good coverage, and the attempt that Eclipse or Elevate went for kind of just played into them with the Foch being that Sturf back there. They got off a good bit of damage. Drock actually picked up 4 kills that game, so you know they were just pretty good coverage, and everyone on the team of Eclipse did their part for the most part, anyways. They all got off some pretty good damage, so you know it was just good cover fire from each other. It really worked it down. It was close. It was really low HP for either team at the end. It could have gone either way at the end there. There was a moment where Elevate may have won it, but the second wall hacks got spotted and caught out. It was pretty much over. They needed both those alive to really break those turrets.
Yep.
Now looking at it, Vetro coming in here, 3,700 damage, 86 fantasy points. T1, and then the other STRV, another 3,300, 68 fantasy points.
Then it's the IS-7s.
IS-7s of Ox, Exo, and Photo finish. No surprise there. On the second page, Dodo, another IS-7, but then the ones to look at, Positive and Canadian Impact down there in the bottom. Batchats just got focused out early on, tried to go for the pushes, didn't really able to get off much damage.
They're really dangerous, you know? You got to watch for that. And focusing out Batchats is probably one of the most effective things you can do early on.
They're soft, and they have a lot of bursts. So if you can take them off before they can get their clip off, then it's worth it. If you know that the Batchat's going to fire its whole clip, then you focus something else.
Exactly.
Just depends on how many guns you have on the situation, because you know it has the reload. So you have to decide early and quickly, is that Batchat going to be able to get off all 5 of its shots? Yes or no?
And can we kill it before it runs away?
Yeah, or before it fires all its shots, either way.
One of the two.
It depends on the situation. There's more things that come in there, but we'll get back to that another time. We move on to Himmelsdorf. Elevate Stomping Ground. 2 mice, a Type 5, an IS-7, a 50B, an E3, and a Batchat for Elevate. Eclipse, on the other hand, 2 mice, a Type 5, a 113, a 5A, an E3, and a Batchat of their own.
All right, well, with that lineup, plenty of hit points on either side. About 17, actually, sorry, same number of hit points on both sides. I should clarify. Exactly the same, 17,250. Still a few different tanks making up that group. And opening moves, James. It looks like nice west side aggression from Eclipse on defense, as opposed to something on the east or more conservative. Looks like that 113 is going to be going down to, I expect, the G line, where he will play the classic window position that we've seen 113s and 5As play in the past, where he'll have some wider cover with a Batchat of 5A. Mouse of Type 5 will take up more traditional defensive positions further back. And there we go, Positive spots external, and is going to be searching for a place to put a shell into him. Lines it up, shot out, and gets it. 436 right at the start of a battle, less than a minute in, and a second shell for 512. It's going to take out, looks like that's a commander and optics damaged on that IS-7. So with that, jump to the IS-7. I want to see if he has a kit. Did External bring a kit, James?
He has 2 kits.
Two repairs?
Yep.
And rations?
Playing a bold game there. No fire extinguisher and no first aid.
Especially in a game where you know HE is going to be a factor. You're going to lose crew members.
An HE shot, speaking of it, coming out from one of the mice. Planting just short, not getting any damage on external.
And there's a push-up, Type 5, moving up the 8 line. Let's see what's up with that. Wally is that tank. And with that, does that say that cap pressure is going to start? Canadian, let's ask you. Canadian Impact, Batchat. He's kind of playing out near the cap, but he's decided not to touch it yet.
I want to take a moment to remind people that Elevate's undefeated for the last 2 seasons in a row. They're undefeated so far this season. And right now, eClipse are 2-2 with them. And they're doing pretty good early on. They're up 2,000 HP. Getting some chipping away at external here. Wallhack's taking a shot. Are Elevate in trouble?
They're not exactly in a great place. External's taking way more damage than he needs to, and I don't know why. He does get, that's 536 into Exo.
That's a nice snapshot.
Yeah, although that's not from the mid as well, is it? Because I think I see some of those mice in the south. Were they looking? Yeah, they are actually looking to cover.
The angle's going to favor actually external though for Exo, because those 2 mice aren't going to have the greatest angle if he's just looking at external.
This is true. Well, they're just kind of watching, waiting, because what this is it's kind of a fake. Usually what you're going to see is a lot more tanks in the north, but the point of this is just to put a batch out on cap and force the reaction from eClipse, because what they're going to gear up for is the traditional like counter cap play, right? But if you can look over here, you can see the Canadian's actually just about alone. Wally is in a Type 5 for... We're not going to get into that right now, but he'll be leaving. And this is going to prompt a crazy push. Now the counter and the crazy play is that Ox, Mathis, and Brett, Ox is actually spotted, are looking north, so they're going to stop anyone from crossing. And, well, I haven't seen this play out before in a pro match, so we're going to have to see how the reactions go. If eClipse decides to respond, there we go, pushing out. Exo takes about half his hit points just to pay the toll. We're going to watch and see who's next. If another tank comes there, Exo's even down further. He's got 490.
Dark Zim's not even spotted till now. Now Canadian Impact's going to get caught out on the cap. He's going to take a lot of damage, and he's going to have to choose to drive away right now. He's actually going to stay on cap, trying to get the pick onto Exo. And Dark Zim actually puts one into the building, and Impact's going to pick up that kill.
Nicely done. Now Exo's pretty much alone. Wally's going to move up, and he decides, yeah, I don't really care about your armor. I'm a Type 5. Positive is next. Positive moves out into the open, looks for a shell, does not.
And the mice are going to drive straight across the courtyard for Elevate, join up in the north.
Nice play. So what you did there was you just were able to force damage in a place that normally doesn't happen.
Well, we talked about it earlier during the top tier versus Derek game, making your opponent have to move to respawn to 1 cap and set up the punish. That was exactly that. Got good damage there on the cross, had a few guns ready for it, and now they're giving up on that side. Actually, they're sending more tanks over to that side now that they know that they have that weak spot, but they're also taking control over on the 2-3, so they're trying to spread out this defense and really chip away at them at all sides as they try to rotate around, and this is what you have to do. And if you look up the hill, it looks like it's Drawk getting isolated out in the north. No, it's not even Drawk. Who is that? That's Positive that went down.
Yep, Positive going down. Germ's taking a little damage as he pressures onto the D line, but he's going to be forced to back off as he notices, oh, hey, the Mousen are here. Brett and Ox have decided to show up. Look at that, though. Drawcat moving around to the south, trying to come up with an alternate angle. Maybe help his battle buddy out. Puts 1 shell into Ox. Nice roll for just under 500. Although Germ does not have much he can deal with at this point. It's kind of dangerous for him. Although Draw's doing as much as he can. And there we go. Germ's going to go down. Drawcap's pretty much alone, cut off from the rest of his team. Photo Finish also alone, cut off. And
he's on fire, it looks like?
No, not quite.
Impact picks up the kill in the back.
And Drawcap's it. And with that, that's going to be a win probably here for, well, yes, it's going to be a win for Elevate.
Silly Rockstar. Elevate aren't in trouble. They're undefeated for a reason.
Yeah, just
they'll pull it back.
Hold your horses there for a second. A loss is a loss, and they have to, especially a team's this good. eClipse can't be, you shouldn't be surprised if eClipse picks up.
Oh, it'll happen eventually, but it's a matter of when.
Yeah, but also don't be surprised when a team this good picks up a few wins here and there. You know, I was going for a 5-3 because I think eClipse can put those numbers on the board, you know? Like, yes, ultimately I don't expect them to win over this. Elevate has a lot going for them, and the team that's shown up today looks like they should be able to do just that. If they put one more win here on Himmelsdorf, that means they have 2 more tries on Ghost Town to figure this out. And if it goes to a tiebreaker, then, you know, so what for Elevate? No one's going to catch them.
Well, and actually, Ghost Town is Eclipse's best map. So
yeah.
If there's a map for them to force a tiebreaker on, that would probably be the one. But it would be even better if they could just tie it up 3-3 right now onto Himmelsdorf.
That would be wonderful for them.
Which is Elevate's best map. So trading maps here back and forth, basically.
Yeah, can they do that, though? big question. Will they be able to actually execute that? Because now Elevate is going to be on defense this time. And, well, looking at the damage from last time on attack, we've got Brett, Canadian, Dodoma, and Ox. 4 of the Elevate guys putting
all
on top.
above 3K, all above 50 fantasy points.
Yeah, and then Germ Photo finish. I mean, Photo is always going to be on the first board no matter what, even if they lose horribly in a battle. Generally, he's up there. Germ as well, and the Mouse putting up solid damage, best he can do. External in the IS-7 with 1923, and as we flip on to the second page, this is what you got to pay attention to. Zim in the bat chat got destroyed. He barely got 1,000 damage out, which is barely 3 shells, 2 shells maybe. And then Vetro, surprisingly enough, in that 50B actually getting less damage. And looks like we're going to get ready to flip sides and go into the next one. James, offline?
No, that's what I was wondering about.
Oh, you want to know the offline?
Yeah, if we can get them.
Tell me about the lineups, and I'll tell you about the offlines.
eClipse coming in here, 50B, a mouse type 5, and 2 5As, E3, and a bat chat for eClipse. Elevate, a mouse, the PZ7 on Himmelsdorf, 3 type 5s, and an E3. And 2 E3s. What on earth are Elevate going for?
Yep, and James, just to bring you that update you requested for the offline matches, we've got 07 versus Teal Team 6. Teal Team 6 wins 5-1, and F7 versus Aquatic. F7 wins 5-4 over Aquatic.
Couple of really close games there.
Yep. And
the 07 versus Teal Team 6 actually surprises me. 07 seemed to have their stuff together, but this week against Teal Team 6, apparently not.
They're hit and miss, sir. They're hit and miss. And there we go. Damage onto external in the opening volley. Looks like playing down the middle 5 line is becoming more and more popular today. We don't see this all the time, but I think this kind of goes back to one of the meta statements that we heard earlier from, who was it? Was that from Aggressor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was mentioning how sometimes things just are in the meta for a day or a week or something. And I think that's probably the flavor of the week this time, those mid shots on Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, the PZ7, also interesting to see that one come out here for Elevate. Decent side scraping tank. Another thing is having that 128. It's actually a pretty good gun at range, so trying to shoot down this 1-2 line, it's actually a decent tank to kind of work these angles with. Also can be a decent hold-down tank in the right situation like we see on Mines, so we'll have to see what he can do with this thing. He's just looking for shots, seeing if anything breaks down in the distance, but right now not going to find anything because the clips really aren't too nearby.
Yeah, they're not doing a whole lot right now. Positive's trying to see what he can do. We've got just a bat chat rolling around on his end. Actually, he almost caught that. That almost hit him. That blind shot from Canadian that we just saw, that went incredibly close.
Yeah, now Positive's going to be spotted, and we're going to see, he lines up a shot, it actually hits the building.
And he's not
RNG,
spotted.
Not in his favor.
Not spotted, though. That's important. Positive does not know he's there, and that actually might allow Canadian to get a one shell or 2 shells in there. Although he's going to back off, safe and sound, and just start trying to spot things. Does not... Wait, Positive doesn't stock optics on his bat. Well, for Himmelsdorf, I understand that. Yeah, makes sense, okay. Gun laying drive and a FV stab. Yeah. I mean, the gun laying drive is nice on a bat chat, but I don't know. What do you think? I've always gone with optics or.
I've never been a scout bat really, so I've always actually favored the same setup just to get the better gun handling. But I mean, coated optics I by no means think are bad. It's just depending on the situation. I've just preferred to go for the gun handling because it's pretty weak on the bat chat. But you can easily swap that out for coated optics. Sometimes you have to for clan wars or tournaments or whatnot, but it just depends on the situation and where you're going to play and the positions and whatnot. Now, I will question it a little bit since he is essentially a scout bat right now. He does have the mouse actually in front of him to spot.
Yeah, but he's also, to his benefit,
it is Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, this is the only range where it matters all that much. Problem is, though, Positive got a little close for comfort there. Oh, and he finally spots the PZ7. That's great for Positive. That's exactly what Eclipse wants to know. But we're going to note 6 minutes 30 seconds, so we've got a lot of time already used in order to kind of get where we are now.
And just notice, Positive there, trying to go for the ring right under the turret on the PZ7. It's the only weak spot, very similar to the 215B.
The low as well.
Yeah, the low as well. Just underneath the turret, there is it's still circular, but it's relatively flat and it sticks out a good bit. And the angle's such that if you hit it, even when it's side scraping, you can normally do damage, unlike to say like an i7 or something like that.
Armor edges and where hatches are and where any metal meets other metal that isn't just a straight sheet is generally weaker than the rest of the structure. Just look for those whenever you're trying to find something there. Positive keeping spot.
So right below the turret there, that little ring, when he's side scraping, you see how it kind of bulges out just to the left there?
Yeah.
That's where you want to shoot when they're side scraping at that sort of range. I digress. We get back to the fight.
Yes, it's still pushing forward. A little damage on the Canadian there from Positive. Just trying to see what he can get. Let's another one
Positive
go.
still going for that ring. You can see where he's aiming, trying to get a shot in there.
Yep. Just trading at long range. Although I do not recommend this for a bat chat player. It's normally not super reliable. But, you know.
Actually, it's the train car there.
Yeah, that's too bad.
And if you notice how those heat shells, how far they drop and arc through the air, the low shell travel speed.
Yeah, that's a major thing you have to worry about when you're a bat when you're scouting.
Vetro smacks drop.
Wow. That's too bad. You don't want to be a low health.
And now Positive's actually moving up, and it looks like they're just going to give up maybe Drock and turn him sideways on the cap and put the bat chat behind him, and then that's what they're going to go for.
Yep, that's it. Although, remember, there's some Type 5s running around. There's plenty of other options. And, yep, here we are. A little change up from Eclipse. They've decided no one goes for the one cap. Let's see if Elevate's ready. And a little shift. Drawcap takes a little damage, 158 to the turret. And Canadian Impact is going to be the one that's going to have to hunt for a reset going out wide. Mouse goes down from Drawcap, and it looks like 50B and 5As are going to move over. Look at the E3, by the way, on the hill. Something to pay attention to. We're going to jump over to him for a second. It's T1 Diabetic. He's going to be watching angles as they approach, trying to deal as much damage as possible. As you can see right below, that's a Mouse and a Type 5 that are going to be late to the party. Back to the cap. Positive. Looks like he's actually going to be firing.
He's actually going to get hit by Vetro, who's playing the far angle in that train station.
Did not need that. That is not ideal. Looks like he's going to put enough damage into Canadian, though, that one more shell should finish him off from someone.
Vetro takes another shot in that train station. He's down to a one shot. And it looks like Eclipse are trying to catch out these Type 5s who are out in the open right now.
And Zim, I don't know if you realize what you did, but getting in his exact position actually put damage onto Positive. There, External sneaks a shell in from downtown. Gets a kill. Dark God Zim is now in a really awkward position to try and put pressure
Photo
on the
actually
cap.
kills Canadian Impact. And now they're going to push around. Dark God Zim trying to play the hold down off the Mouse and the bat chat there. And now Photo should be able to get his gun into the fight and put some more shots onto these Type 5s. He's looking for the angle, waiting, but the fences are in play right now. And HE shells will detonate and not do damage on him. Dark God Zim puts a shot into wall hacks. And now Photo's just going to keep on driving. Well, he's spotted. Dark God Zim's going to choose to go to the other side, try to bait him into his teammate's gun.
This is a very difficult situation right now for both teams to navigate. Hit points, though, are in favor of Elevate still. That's your blue team. So red guys are also... Well, there we go. Zim's down. 4 tanks alive. Okay, that's more and more clearly becoming an advantage for Elevate here. Bounce from Brett on to Exo. 50B in the south. Does not realize yet, possibly, that there's a Type 5 lumbering towards him. Puts one more shell into Brett. Backs up, hits a little bit of a building. Because of that, takes 452 before he retreats fully. Meanwhile, Photo is fighting off against Ox, Mathis, and Wallhacks, but Ox has just gone to finish him off, and he does.
Through the building, Photo actually sneaks the kill into Wallhacks first before he goes down.
Nice play. Good heads up.
And Dodoma's going to take down Germ, former teammates. Now it's just down to Exo and T1 Diabetic. Excuse me, just T1 Diabetic. On that E3 up on the hill.
He dealt 778 damage this battle so far. Not a lot else. So Eclipse's plan, while different, unexpected, well-structured, Elevate understood what to do and navigated this problem themselves. They did a good job here. So I think that's pretty much it. Just one more win will finish this one off.
We're going to Ghost Town, which is actually a pretty strong map for Eclipse. Gets another 700 for fantasy points.
There you go.
But everyone else should reload before he's reloaded again, including Brett, who's right in front of him. And T1 Diabetic's just swerving around, finds the Doma coming around the corner, but Brett picks up the kill.
Nicely done. All right. So
That's
now,
going to be a 4-2 scoreline in favor of Elevate, and now it is all down to Ghost Town.
and like you said, Eclipse has a chance here. They could bring this back. 2 wins on Ghost Town will take us to a tiebreaker. That tiebreaker being Himmelsdorf, by the way.
Vetro.
What? What do you do?
Vetro.
He's looking at after-game stats. James always looks at after-game stats.
5,300 damage that game.
Really?
And an E3, despite getting bullied the whole game, basically, by the Type 5, taking a lot of damage. 5,300 damage.
Not bad at all. All right, so reviewing this battle one more time. Trying to do a block on the west side cap that ultimately didn't work out.
That one, the decision to go for that play did kind of confuse me, I must admit.
A little bit.
Especially once they spotted the PZ7 out on the 2 line. The problem with going for that sort of screen with just one tank guarding it is you're still susceptible to too many angles. And Elevate did what they had to. They played the multiple angles on that line. They got tanks up against the buildings on the 3 and also down the 1 line. Now looking at the fantasy stats real quick, Vetro 5,300 damage, 1 kill, 126 fantasy points. Photo Finish, Type 5, coming in here, 2,800, 2 kills, doing what he can. On the second page, Wallhacks, who got picked off late game there, 34. Canadian Impacts, not able to get a single shot of damage that game, that PZ7. However, the fact that he was there just kind of slowed things down. And
But
I think
no damage?
But no
I
damage,
honestly thought he would deal something.
I think if you give it a little bit more time for him to get into the fight, move up, because once those Type 5s were up there, if he had kept moving up a little bit sooner,
yeah,
they would have found the shots onto that bat chat sooner. But because they got that reset, he didn't have to move. I'm not necessarily defending it, but it's not necessarily the biggest deal right now, I guess is my point. Elevate still, we're in a comfortable position. At no point would him of doing damage won them that game. It was just the presence of being there, denying that lane, and having that extra reset angle, I think, was more important in the long run.
Fair enough. All right, looking at the lineups, we've got a 113, 2 Mice, T57, Type 5, 5A, and a Bat Chat. So nice mix there. Against 2 Mouse, Type 57, 2 Type 5s, a 5A, and a Bat Chat. So lineups differ in very minor ways.
Yeah, and looking at it, Dark God Zim in the Mouse along with Drock.
Yeah.
And then T1 Diabetic in the Type 5. Coming in with the 57, 113. It still says most likely going for this North 1 cap, very similar play to what they've done
yeah, look at
a lot
the
this
map.
season.
You see Positive heading up north as well. Photo Finish going up there. 113 is usually... This kind of does say that the player you're talking about
Positive is being really bold right now.
That's not normal. Normally you would be going for a scout run, but I guess quick cap, Positive's in a relatively flat tank. Although using Photo Finish as cover when the 113 is not a bad way to do this as well, because he can actually put fire onto tanks like Vetro and other guys who are going to move in to try and block Positive. And at the same time, let's take a look at what everyone else is doing.
Positive taking 2 shots of damage, 3 shots of damage. He is just getting all sorts of abuse right now. He's actually having to leave the cap, and an HE shot hits him for 210.
Yep.
And he's getting away with his life, but not good. Photo Finish now trying to take his place, takes a lot of shot trying to get on cap. He's down to a 1 shot. This is not going good for Eclipse.
No,
That's a lot of early damage.
Paid quite a lot here.
Oh, and Photo's trying to leave. Wallhacks comes around the corner and picks it up.
Gets whacked. Okay, that's not good. That might spell the end of it. No real cap pressure doesn't force Elevate to make the decisions that usually cause the defender to lose
here.
here.
The position that Eclipse are in right now.
The flank. Look at the Type 5s.
Elevate getting aggressive on the defense. They see the blood in the water. They're going for it. They want the kill. They want to end this.
Type 5s are moving in.
57's emptying clips into the 5A. The Type 5s are coming in behind. The Mice are holding
as best they can, but they're losing health fast. Dark God Zim and Germ will not last much longer. Vetra's going to be on reload soon. Dodo's got the crossfire. 1 more shell into Germ will do it. Brett gets out of the way. Nice. Getting out of a crossfire and rejoin the rest of the team. Nicely played. All right. Looking at the individuals, though, Brett should be going down soon. We'll see how much damage he can do before that happens. Positive is on a 1-shot against Canadian. Gets taken down. Nicely played. T1, mostly alone. Exo on reload in T57. And yeah, this is not good for Eclipse. It's just about over. Everyone's split up. There's no real cohesion left. Damage is spread way too well across the Elevate tanks. And now the healthy guys are becoming aggressive, getting out ahead. Yeah, Brett goes down, but what's that going to matter in just a minute? Wallhex knows his target, it's Exo.
External trying to work on Drock as Wallhex picks up the kill onto Exo, T1 Diabetic. Pretty much all that remains, except he's going to go down first somehow, and that's going to be Drock. That's all that remains, and that is going to be a 5-2 victory in favor of Elevate for the second time this season.
Ah, so Ute wins, right?
So Ute wins with that prediction, yep.
Good job, Ute.
It's the only one to get the score right today. Other match, not going any of our way. Now,
what?
That is Elevate having beat eClipse for the last 6 times they've played each other.
Yep, that's usually how it goes. Last time was...
Would have been 2 seasons ago. The first time they played each other.
Yeah, that's the last time that happened. And then as far as Eclipse's record against Elevate, the last time they played, same scoreline.
Yeah,
same
so
scoreline.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Did it again.
Yeah, same thing.
And that's going to be the undefeated record for Elevate, still maintained.
Business as usual, I think is what comps would say.
Yeah, well, we'll find out in a few minutes when we talk to him in a post-game interview.
But first things first, take a look at a few of these crucial replays. Huge kill onto Positive to start the match off, finishing this one. I think Sand River went very well for Elevate. Proc was where things got dicey, where Eclipse started bringing solid strategies, countering out Elevate's plays.
And you could even hear that Elevate were kind of frustrated in their comms during that game. The way they were talking to each other, not necessarily all on the same page, so no surprise there. But Himmelsdorf and Ghost Town, they clearly had it back together. And looking at final fantasy points for that round, Doma, 3,580 fantasy points, External and Vetro. Vetro doing 2,700 on T57. Exo top damage dealer for Eclipse, 2,700. Then Germ in the 5A, and then Brett and Impact having decent rounds, 2,300 plus. Can't complain. On to the second page, T1 Diabetic doing what he can, 2K.
Oxmath is almost meeting him in the Type 5s. And then as
he was so far out of the fight
photo finish,
wall hacks.
That kill on a photo finish made him left him with 0 damage dealt. But now post-match overall stats, James.
And Vetro saving my fantasy night, 500 fantasy points. Ox doing another 374, excuse me. T1 Diabetic, top 4 T1. And then photo finish actually also coming in there, another 330. Second page here, nothing too surprising. Impact 320, pretty solid night. After that, Positive only 244, so not really able to get into the fight tonight. You know, and to be fair, the maps, these weren't necessarily maps that favored him really outside of Himmelsdorf. He's had some really strong games on Himmelsdorf and Mines, and Ruinberg as well. And so none of those maps really came through outside of Himmelsdorf, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, we do have comps on the line to talk to us about that match. Sir, welcome back. And, well, same score as last time, so nothing changed, right?
Nope. We still got 2-0 on Proc and won the rest. So yeah, nothing new.
Yeah. Same old. What are you guys gonna do about Proc? What's the struggle there? What can you tell us?
The first match, Dodo got caught out early on. So basically, just had a bad shot down for that one. So I mean,
rip.
Good on them. They saw the opportunity, took it, and they won that one. The second match, Brett was just not listening and sticking around on Hild way too long. So that came down to the wire, and they won that one as well. So yeah. So
I guess at what point at Pro do you keep coming up with strats, or when do you move it over to a band map for you guys?
Well, I don't think it's a band map. It's just like people need to listen, and people need to do what we do in practice, and there shouldn't be any issues. So I mean, if it wasn't for those minor hiccups, I think we would have pulled through on those maps and won them. So
you think you're close enough that it's not worth banning, that you guys can just fix a few things and you'll be back in it in the future?
Yep. I mean, well, Eclipse is also a good team, so you can't just, take it willy-nilly with them. So they know what they're doing. They have some good players, and they just, won those 2 matches versus us today. And, kudos to them for that.
Yep. I want to ask about Himmelsdorf. Looks like the meta shifting a little bit back towards some mid-fire up the 5 line earlier in the battle. Where's that coming from? Or what made you guys decide to start doing that?
I guess it's just like what the other regions are doing, so we're just more in line with that. In terms of what we're bringing to it, I guess we're just bringing, early lights down mid, so we can sort of know where that information is, and then rotate accordingly. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Divide the map in half.
All right, and final thoughts, final words on this match, comps.
I mean, it was a lot better than our dare match. So we got our problems fixed, but Proc still needs some work. So other than that, I mean, it was a good day, good match, and looking forward to next match on Thursday.
Fair enough. All right. Any final thoughts out there for your fans, Comps?
Nope. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next week.
All right. Thank you very much. Once again, congratulations on the win. So we move on. Now we have our stand.